Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about transit north node, square, opposition, or inconjunct one's natal ascendant. Now, when we're talking about transits that involve the north node, it can be about one's future, destiny, what you may be learning and aspiring to be, and where you're directed toward, what you feel your mission is at this time. Now, the thing is, when you have transit North Node basically making an adverse aspect to the natal ascendant. I'm going to elaborate on that. When I say basically adverse aspect, what I'm saying is that squares and oppositions in astrology, of course, those aspects can be adverse and negative. Now, the inconjunct aspect, though it's neutral, neutral aspects can have good and bad qualities in them, coupled with the fact that an inconjunct can often require an adjustment or transition. And of course, those things can cause some exasperation and tension. So collectively, basically, I do see this as an adverse transit. Now, again, when transit north node is basically making an adverse aspect to one's natal ascendant, it may manifest in the future, the destiny, where you feel your mission may lie, what you're learning and aspiring to be, where you feel you're directed toward at this time. That may conflict with the physical body. The physical body, you might not feel like you have the physical energy, the endurance, the vitality to even do what it is connected with what you're aspiring to be at this time of this transit. Now, let's say you have this in Aquarius in the 10th house. It could be some career, could be astrology or astronomy, maybe computers or innovation or electronics, or even expressing selflessness and altruism with older people or the dominant parent, which is often the father. Now, another thing too is the ascendant is connected with the appearance, and the thing about this is what you're aspiring to do at this time. As far as the north node goes, it can be where maybe it's something that you might be emphasizing too much. Maybe it is having some negative impact on how you look, or maybe you're just so dominated by how you look and you're thinking more about that. It could be the situation where you're working out vigorously to keep yourself looking really good, and really more conscious about that, as opposed to what you really maybe need to learn and aspire to be at the time of this transit. Now, again, the ascendant is connected with the vitality and energy, and you just might not have that energy to really go after what you feel your future might be at this time. It doesn't necessarily mean that your energy overall is going to be depleted, but as far as pursuing and moving forward, pursuing the future, moving forward, you just might not really want to use that energy and vitality for that at this time. Now, the ascendant is also connected with new beginnings, and it's interesting because the north node is about where we may be directed toward, what you're learning, aspiring to be your future, and what you feel maybe your new beginnings could be something connected with your ascendant. If the ascendant is in Taurus, it could be some monetary plan, formulating some new monetary plan to help your finances, or doing something as a pawnbroker or stockbroker, or a position in finance or banking, architecture, agriculture, some examples. And this might be conflicting with what you feel your future might be at this time, and where you're directed toward, what you're learning and aspiring to be. These things can cause a challenge and some tension and exasperation as a result at this time. Now, the thing is, the ascendant is connected with the outer demeanor of the person, what you're projecting outwardly. It's your astrological mask, your facade, and those qualities that you're naturally expressing, of course, which is in most instances different from the ascendant. There's like 1 in 12 probability that you will have the same ascendant as the sun sign, but in most cases it's this energy that is different than your sun sign, and it's what you're projecting outwardly to others. And what you're really, what you're trying to do, perhaps in terms of your future, which is the North Node, learning, aspiring to be, where you feel you're directed toward, might be affecting, how you're, bring as far as your qualities that you're trying to bring outwardly to others. It might not, maybe you don't feel that where you may be directed toward is really is compatible with what your general energy is. If you have Aquarius, Taurus energy involved in this transit, you could have the Taurus. Taurus is stolid, but it's also stable, and it can be somewhat monotonous and sticking with what is comfortable more, where the Aquarius energy is very progressive. It could be innovative. It could be something dealing with new technology, so you can understand where there would be some conflict in that example. Now, another thing too is the ascendant is connected with the outlook on life. And you might feel, at this time, where where you feel you're destined to be. Maybe this is affecting, maybe it's affecting your outlook to some degree on a negative manner. Maybe where you feel your destiny is something that you may not really, want to do. Maybe it's causing your outlook on life to be a little bit more, negative, or the energy connected with the North Node and the Ascendant are adversarial, and it doesn't seem the North Node energy is not matching your outlook at this time. And say the Ascendant is Capricorn, and the Capricorn Ascendant can have very conservative, conventional outlook. And let's say the transit of the North Node is in Aries. Well, Aries is very pioneering. You can be wanting to try new things, more adventurous. So you could see where that would be adversarial and would cause a conflict. Now, the Ascendant is also connected. It can be connected with a grandparent and people that were prominent in your early childhood. And maybe you feel at this time that your future doesn't lie with them, at least at this moment, that they're not going to be emphasized as much in whatever you're pursuing as far as your future goes, what you're learning and aspiring to be, and the qualities that you're trying, attributes you may be trying to develop. Those things might be taking precedence over activities and matters that are associated with a grandparent, with someone that was prominent in your early childhood, and it can cause some tension if you're putting them on the back burner, or vice versa, or if these people's needs are such where it's interfering where perhaps you want to be, where you want to be going in life, and where you feel you're directed toward at this time. And also too, the Ascendant is also connected with our defense mechanisms. It can be, the qualities you might be projecting when you're in a situation that might not be overly, secure. It's something where, this energy, with the North Node, and going back to the Ascendant being in Taurus as an example, it could be bringing out, some stubborn or obstinate energy. If you have, the transit to the North Node making an adverse aspect to a natal Taurus ascendant, because Taurus generally doesn't want to move forward anyway. And I should understand and empathize with it, because I have a Taurus ascendant, as many of you may know, and it's just one of those things where this transit can be rough, because it's a situation where the transit of the North Node, where the future can be more conflict with the Ascendant, and it can be more physically taxing, I would say, because the Ascendant is connected with the vitality and energy of the person. The ascendant again is connected with the qualities, those attributes that are naturally expressed, and it might be something where if you're focusing on this, this North Node energy at this time, maybe for whatever reason, perhaps that those qualities that are naturally coming out may not be may not be really coming outwardly to others, or maybe there might be negative qualities that are coming out that could be naturally expressed that are connected with your rising sign or ascendant this time as a result of the North Node energy being somewhat taxing. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back, but anyway. Now, another way this transit may manifest, it could be that the qualities that are needed to be developed, which is connected with the North Node, may conflict with that energy that you're outwardly projecting, which is the ascendant. And let's say if the natal transit North Node is in Aquarius, as an example, it could be, you might be trying to develop unobtrusive, altruistic, selfless, group-related qualities at this time, being a team player, as some examples. And also too, the issues that you may need to address, confront, may challenge new beginnings at this time. And let's say, for example, if the transit North Node is in Gemini in the 7th house, it could be dealing with some plagiarism or gossip or slander, which could be connected with Gemini, from open adversaries, which is the 7th house. Now, also too, where your future lies, which is the North Node, you might not have really that vitality and energy for at this time. And the ascendant is connected with one's vitality and energy. Let's say, for example, if transit North Node is in Cancer, it can be, your future might be tied in where you're where you're nurturing or caring, or something with the home and family. And also too, another way this transit may be expressed can be what you're learning and aspiring to be may conflict again with that energy that is naturally projected. If the let's say, for example, if the transit North Node is in Pisces, it could be just doing something with relaxing and meditating, being very idealistic, overlooking defaults and transgressions of others, and that could have, let's say, if it's opposing one's natal Virgo ascendant, it could be where it's causing a strong conflict, some tension, because the Virgo energy naturally outwardly can be more critical and judgmental and a little bit more fault finding. It's also more much more industrious than Pisces. On average, Virgo also likes to go into more the reality. In Pisces, energy might be trying to go into more of what's not tangible, if that makes sense, what's actually what you can't really see and what you might just simply have faith on. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.